Okay, I think I'll go ahead and get started this afternoon. Welcome, everybody. How's your afternoon going so far? Y'all picked a great day to be in Omaha, so welcome. I'm Julie Olson. I'm the Associate Director for Pre-Professional Advising in the Creighton EDGE, and I'm joined by one of my colleagues today.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeremy Fisher. I'm the Director of the Career Center, which is a part of the Creighton EDGE.
And I'm going to use the microphone because my voice doesn't carry very well, so I want to make sure it gets to everyone who's in the back. But Jeremy and I are excited to visit with you this afternoon a little bit about a couple pieces of the Creighton EDGE, specifically pre-professional advising and career and professional development. I thought I'd start off telling you just a little bit about first what the Creighton EDGE is, just in general, just to kind of give you an overview. So the Creighton EDGE is really a collection of services across 3 areas here at Creighton. It pulls together our services of academic success, pre-professional advising, and career and professional development. And these 3 areas are all pulled together to form the EDGE because all 3 of us ultimately have the same goal. All 3 of our programs are really helping students move towards whatever their professional goals are. So whether a student wishes to go on to grad or professional school and they finish their undergraduate experience, whether they wish to enter the workforce right away, whether they wish to do perhaps years of volunteer and service, all 3 of our programs are really helping students move forward towards that professional goal. So the first piece of the EDGE is academic success. And our academic success partners had the previous session right before us. I won't go into great detail about academic success, but I just want to mention a little bit. I really feel like academic success is really the foundation for the EDGE. This is really where things begin. It's really first and foremost about students being successful in their classes, figuring out what kind of learners they are. So our academic success has services in a number of different areas, one of which is our extensive tutoring program. We typically have between 6,000 and 7,000 tutoring visits a year in the Creighton EDGE. They also do academic coaching, and our academic coaches are our professional staff members in academic success who are available to sit down with students one-on-one about really any variety of academic questions or thoughts or concerns students may have. They also offer different classes to really help students when it comes to how to approach their academics and learning skills. And they also do quite a few programs and interventions throughout the year as well. A great one that they may have mentioned in the previous session if you were here is called Hippocampus. And Hippocampus is a 4-week program that happens in September. I believe it runs the 4 Wednesdays of September, 1 hour each week. And it's for our freshman students, just to help them get off on the right foot here at Creighton with their academics. So each week focuses on a different area of learning and how to approach their classes. So that's a great one students can participate in as well. So that's the first piece of the EDGE, the academic success piece. So the second piece of the EDGE, this is the area that I work in. This is the pre-professional advising piece. And our pre-professional advising piece is really about providing services and additional advising for our students that wish to go on to a professional program in the health sciences or law after their undergraduate experience. Here at Creighton, we have about 1,300 students that identify as being pre-health or pre-law. And so we really want to have a strong set of services to really help those students achieve their goals of those professional programs. There are really 2 ways through which we help students when it comes to the pre-professional advising piece. One is through individual, one-on-one pre-professional advising. And one thing I always want to emphasize is that all of our students at Creighton have a dedicated faculty advisor. So all of your students are assigned a specific faculty advisor, and your student must meet with him or her at least once every semester to pick their classes for the next semester. So that's required. They have to see them once every semester, check in, make sure they're on track for their degree requirements, majors, minors, the core requirements to register for the next semester's classes. So that's a dedicated faculty advisor. The advisors in the EDGE for pre-professional, we're kind of a bonus advisor. So we're an extra advisor that students can come in and see whenever they would like to. So it could be once a month, it could be once a semester, it could be once a year, whenever the student has questions on those pre-professional pieces. And we're here to go more in depth on those pre-health and pre-law questions. So if students have specific questions about what kinds of requirements are there for certain health sciences programs, or when should they begin the law school application process? Those are conversations we can have with them in a one-on-one pre-professional advising appointment. The other way in which we do this is through our what we call our pre-professional learning communities. And our learning communities were a way for us to bring together students that had a common professional school interest, either in health sciences or law. And it really helps with a couple of things. One is that it helps students meet their classmates who have a similar interest, but the other piece is that it gives us set checkpoints with those students through those communities every semester. So we have typically about 3 to 4 meetings each semester, as well as some online modules. And it gives us some dedicated time where we know we're going to touch base with those students throughout the course of the semester, just with some things about what should you be doing now if you're considering medical school or dental school or law school down the road. What kinds of important things should you be aware of? And so our communities give us those kind of set checkpoints throughout the year. It gives us a really nice structured way to really help students explore all their options in those areas, help them get some good experiences, and also help them prepare for the application process for professional school. Whoops, sorry. So to kind of give you a glance as to what our communities look like and kind of what happens in those, this is kind of designed to kind of explore a little bit about kind of what happens each year. So that first year, the student's freshman year, our focus is really on helping students to explore their options when it comes to the health sciences and law for professional school. In that freshman year, if your student mentioned at any point in their admissions process, on their admissions application, anywhere at some point that they had an interest in being pre-health or pre-law, in early August, we will actually automatically put them into our pre-health or pre-law information communities in Blue Line. These are just online groups the freshman year, no obligation, there's no commitment, but it gives us a way to stay connected with them during their freshman year. And our focus this freshman year is really on sharing events and activities that will help students explore their options when it comes to health careers and legal careers. So it could be things like there's a big law school open house every fall that we invite them to. It could be things like a big pharmacy skills immersion lab that we do. It could be perhaps the pre-medical society is doing a wonderful activity with the medical school. And so there's some great events that we have throughout the year we really want to make sure students are aware of so they can really see what all their options are when it comes to careers in health sciences and law. So that's kind of the freshman year. In the sophomore year, students are in what we call our pre-health and pre-law communities, specifically learning communities. And this is when we do begin to meet in person. So we typically have a couple online modules each year, as well as several in-person sessions each semester. But our focus in this year is how can we help the students get some hands-on experience in these professions. So we'll discuss things like shadowing and volunteering. What are some great ways to immerse yourself in those professions? We'll also discuss things like undergraduate research. How do you pursue those experiences? Who do you ask? How do you apply for them? We'll talk about letters of recommendation, because in that sophomore year of college, this is a good time to kind of check in and say, make sure that you get to know your professors for letters of recommendation for graduate school down the road. So we'll discuss that process. What does that look like? How do you ask for those recommendations? We'll also discuss ways students can get internships or clinical experience, perhaps even paid, that will also give them some good experience in the health sciences and law. And then the third phase is our year of preparation. This is typically the junior or senior year. And our focus in that third year is on how can we help students prepare themselves for the application process. So we'll discuss things like what is the entrance exam for that health program or law program you're looking at? How do you prepare for that law school admissions test, that medical college admissions test, that GRE for your professional program? What does that preparation look like? We'll also discuss how to navigate the application service itself. How do you work through that? What does the application process look like for medical school? We'll discuss the timeline for applying as well. When should you begin your application for dental school or pharmacy school? When does that process begin? What does it look like? We'll also help them with their personal statements as well as preparing for their interviews for professional school as well. So our focus that year is really on helping students prepare for that actual application process. A couple of special notes to our communities. One is the pharmacy and occupational therapy areas. If you have a student considering a pharmacy or occupational therapy pathway, those programs are a little bit unique because students can actually begin their professional program in pharmacy or occupational therapy after just 2 years of undergraduate study. So for those students, our 3-year sequence of communities doesn't work quite as well. So we have a special series of seminar for both pharmacy as well as occupational therapy. That's a 2-year program. It covers all the same thing as our 3-year community plan, but it is condensed into that 2-year format for those students instead. So kind of a special note there for pharmacy and OT. Other pre-health areas, if your student's interested in optometry perhaps, or veterinary medicine, although those professional programs are not offered here on Creighton's campus, we still advise for all those pre-health areas. So students who are considering any kind of a pre-health area, Creighton is a wonderful place to do your pre-health coursework, and we can work students through that process of those programs as well. Some wonderful resources to be aware of for our pre-professional students. One is that we do have quite a few professional programs here on Creighton's campus. So we have a medical school, a dental school, a law school, pharmacy, physical therapy, occupational therapy. Our new physician assistant program begins here this summer. So because we have those programs right here on campus, our students have really some wonderful access to the faculty that teach in those programs, current students in those programs, the admissions counselors for those programs. So they are frequent presenters for our learning communities. We're able to offer mentoring programs with those professional school students. So there's really some great chances for students to really get a feel for what those programs entail and really get immersed in what those programs are actually like as well. We have great partnerships with CHI Health when it comes to shadowing and volunteering. CHI Health is our academic health partner. That's where our teaching hospital is located. So students can really get immersed in CHI Health through both volunteer and shadowing. And then we also have a great alumni network. So if students want to just visit with an alumni and find out what is it like to be a physician or a dentist or a pharmacist or a physical therapist, we can have them sit down with an alumni and really learn more about those different professions in general as well. So that was piece 2 of the EDGE. So piece 3 of the EDGE is the Career Development Center. So I'll turn these over to Jeremy.
As the director of the Career Center, I oversee the undergraduate and graduate career services for our College of Arts and Sciences, our Hyder College of Business, and College of Nursing. And our area, as part of the EDGE, focuses primarily on career and professional development. So we will work with students from freshman year through senior year. We're actually embedded into your students' freshman seminar program, the Ratio Studiorum program, with the exception of nursing. How many nursing student parents are in here? We've got a few. You're covered and you're covered in the College of Nursing very well. But we do see every arts and sciences and business freshman through our freshman seminar program to give them an orientation to our services as well as our EDGE services. But we help students explore the many students that come into college not sure what they want to major in or not sure what they want to do for their career or occupational path. We have a lot of resources that can help. We have 7 full-time career advisors on staff in the Career Center, and many of them are dedicated by college. So we've got 2 people dedicated for working with our business students, 3 people dedicated working with our College of Arts and Sciences and nursing students. So I see students and alumni, but I also work primarily with our employers to help connect them for jobs and internships. But no matter what situation or timeline your student is in, we're there to help. We do that with career assessments, career coaching, career advising. We help connect, as Julie mentioned, to alumni for if you want to do informational interviews about certain industries or occupations or careers. We have very supportive alumni network, as Julie mentioned, that are definitely willing to talk to students about their path, their journey, their careers, and what they do for the day in the life of whatever occupation. We also help with the professional skills in terms of career skills, so resume reviews, resume writing, personal statement reviews, cover letters, a variety of correspondence that will help students when they're ready to apply for that next experiential learning opportunity. So internships, part-time jobs, research opportunities, full-time employment, and then the personal statements that we can help with our pre-professional advisors with anything that requires, for entrance exams to professional schools. So we do lots of career events and networking. So for example, we have a career fair on campus each semester. Roughly about 100 organizations will be on campus in our ballroom here in the Harper Center building. Employers in corporate, healthcare, government, nonprofit, postgraduate volunteer service organizations, and some graduate and professional schools typically attend. So that's something that your student will have the opportunity to attend at all 8 semesters if they wish, or as they are ready to do that here on campus. But outside of that, we have hundreds of employers are on campus for recruiting events, information sessions, on-campus interviews for our on-campus recruiting program. We have things like our professional etiquette dinners we do every spring semester. So students are able to attend as many and as much of the events that we offer in terms of networking. I know every year our College of Arts and Sciences hosts unlimited opportunities, career panels, so they'll bring in dozens and dozens of alumni to talk about their careers in humanities or natural sciences or social sciences. Last year, for example, our Hyder College of Business had a speed networking event with our alumni. So lots of really cool alumni opportunities to network with them here on campus. And if they're going home for the summer or want to network with alumni from all over the country that we have, we can help facilitate those connections as well. Other things that we do help with is obviously interview preparation and mock interviews. So for example, we do hundreds and hundreds of practice interviews with students, whether it's for jobs, internships, for professional schools. So our School of Medicine actually uses our interview rooms in our Career Center for interviews for their real admissions interviews. So we get a really good insight in terms of what types of questions are going to be asked and those types of processes. Again, I work very closely with employers. I know kind of what a typical Fortune 500 company is going to ask in an interview for an internship versus other organizations. So kind of using that feedback to help students prepare successfully. So what to research about the organization, what to ask the company or the recruiter, what types of questions to practice or prepare for, how to follow up with a thank you note, how to dress professionally for an interview, things like that that can really help them set themselves apart from other universities and other students. Internship and job search assistance, again, if a student is looking for a part-time job, while they're on campus or around the Omaha area, or if they're looking for jobs or internships in the summer back in their hometown area, make sure they connect with us, because the more closely we can work with those students, the more we can help them and the better we can assist them with finding those opportunities. And although we do have excellent pre-professional advisors in the Creighton EDGE, we do offer services to help with graduate and professional school assistance outside of primarily the pre-health and the pre-law areas. So in terms of, oops, I went the wrong way as well. did it again. There we go. In terms of career and professional development programs, we have 3 signature programs that we offer through the Career Center, and the first one is really ideal for students freshman year. It's we teach 2 sections of career planning classes in the spring semester, really designed for students who are still deciding or maybe undecided what path they maybe want to pursue at that point, which is still fairly early in the process. You don't technically have to declare a major until the end of sophomore year, early junior year, but the earlier you explore, the more you're going to have opportunities to gain experiences in those areas. But EDGE 102 is part of the EDGE Scholars Program. EDGE 102 is a class for intro to discernment and experiential learning. So we'll do career exploration activities, assessments, informational interviews with alumni. We'll do industry site visits. We do networking with alumni. We'll do resume writing. We'll do practice interviews. A lot of those things that I mentioned already, but kind of just get them a head start through that exploration process. So again, we have career advisors that teach those sections. There's 2 of them. And if we have to offer a 3rd section, we will. But that class, once done in the spring of freshman year, continues on to becoming into actually a 4-year program, which we do more like monthly seminars and opportunities to still connect and explore and get some relevant experiences in the chosen field. And then very similarly, but for, I should back up, the EDGE Scholars Program is for any student, so nursing, arts and sciences primarily. Business students are certainly welcome to participate in that class. However, the Career Portfolio Program is our 4-year career development program specifically for the Higher College of Business students. That's run by our Assistant Director for Business Career Programs. So that program is actually required for business students, so you'll hear more about that through the freshman seminar program as well. But the 3rd program that we offer through the Career Center for students is our EDGE Internship Program. That is our on-campus internship program. So these are on-campus paid internship opportunities that students can do as early as freshman and sophomore year to gain really good experiences on campus to help start building their resume. It's kind of meant to be their first internship experience in terms of developing some professional skills. And right now we have about 100 paid internships throughout the year. And if you think of Creighton University as an employer, there's a lot of good experiences that they can get in a lot of different areas. So, you know, we have, for example, Fine and Performing Arts Center, we have research, we have the clinical labs, we have business functions, so IT, human resources, marketing. There's lots of areas that students can gain hands-on experiences and start building their resume at a young age. And I think we had about 200 students participate in the program last year. They can work up to 3 terms, so if they work in the fall and the spring and they continue to do in the summer, they're happy to do that. Or if you start in the summer, you can continue summer, fall, and spring. But the ultimate goal is no more than 3 terms on campus, because then we want to kick them off campus to get real world experiences off campus. So, but that's a great program, and it's a great way to get some students experience. So, I mentioned my role is working with employers and alumni. This is from our class of 2018. I don't know if you know this statistic, but only 20% of our students at Creighton are from Nebraska. So my job is to make sure our students get jobs no matter where they're from or no matter where they want to go. They ended up in 40 different states last year in 7 different countries. So heavily in the Midwest, I'm not gonna lie. Nebraska, Illinois, Minnesota, Missouri, Colorado, Kansas. California was our number 6 state, but then Texas, Florida, New York, DC, Seattle, all over the place. So 40 states last year, our students end up either in jobs or graduate schools. So we have an expansive network of not only alumni, but employers. So I travel to about 10 different cities a year personally to meet with employers, talent acquisition people, recruiters, to help develop and cultivate internship connections and full-time opportunities. I'm frequently attending alumni events to gather, contacts and develop relationships with alumni. And that's the best part of my job, honestly. I've been doing this for 15 years, and it's fun to see those success stories of students getting that right connection and getting their foot in the door to their dream job opportunities. So we have 70,000 living alumni. I'm connected to about half of them on LinkedIn. So, but again, if students are engaged with the Career Center, we have lots of contacts and resources that can help them no matter what their goals are. So we'll leave, we've got a little bit of time for questions, but at least for contact information, if you have any questions at all, or ultimately, what we're here to do is talk to you to encourage your students to utilize the EDGE and make sure you're frequently asking them, have you visited the EDGE, whether it's academic success or pre-professional advising or the Career Center. We're never required for students to utilize, although we are heavily utilized. But you can always email the EDGE at edge@creighton.edu, or our phone number is 402-280-5566, located in the Ryder Alumni Memorial Library lower level. And then the Career Center, we are co-located. The Career Center is actually located in the Harper Center with our admissions office and everything here for campus recruiting programs and things like that. You can also email us at careercenter@creighton.edu, but either way, the EDGE Creighton contact information will get to us as well. You'll get referred accordingly. But with that being said, what questions might you have about pre-health, pre-law, career center, internships, anything that we talked about today that we'd love to answer for you? Yes?
EDGE 102 is an actual class?
It's a non-credit class, but it's about an hour a week for the spring semester, and there's 2 sections, usually taught Mondays and Tuesdays in the afternoons at 3:30. Actually, starting next year, we'll be teaching them in the Career Center. Right now, they're taught in a classroom, a couple of classrooms. Yeah. Yes?
So when's the first year you can do an internship then? Like if
You can do an internship as early as fall semester freshman year for the on-campus internship program. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that to a first semester freshman. Let them get acclimated to the campus, get acclimated to their courses, acclimated to their residence halls. But we've had freshmen do internships on campus for our program as early as spring semester. We've had maybe a couple of exceptions of fall, but mostly spring. And a lot of our freshmen end up going home that first summer, so not a lot of them will stay around here for the summer internship program, but then a lot of them will come back sophomore year looking for a fall, spring, and maybe a summer internship, the EDGE internship program. But again, that's just our on-campus internship program. We have access to a lot more internships off campus as well. I think last year in our handshake system, our online career management system, we had over 20,000 job and internship postings for our students. So. But that's a great question. And they are, like I said, paid internships. Many students can do internships for credit, but typically you have to be junior standing and within your major because it has to be related directly to your field of study. Yes?
And those internships, about how many hours a week do they work?
So the budget is set as a maximum of 20 hours, no more than 20 hours a week during the fall and spring semester, but hardly any student maxes out their hours because they're full-time students. Average, they're probably gonna work 10 to 15 hours a week. In the summer, they can work up to 30 hours a week. Other questions? Great questions. Yes?
You said that you had to do consecutive, so if you did the spring and you didn't do summer, could you come back and do the fall?
You don't necessarily have to do it consecutively, you just can't do more than 3 terms.
Okay, so you do
So,
spring, fall, spring?
yes, absolutely. And we do have situations like that for students who study abroad, or they do go home for the summer and they want to come back to that internship. They can also do their 3 terms in different sites. So I've got students doing two terms in one department, then maybe their 3rd term in a different department to get some different experiences. Yes?
Can you talk about the internships that give you credits?
Yeah. Typically, those are going to be for 3 credit hours. They do have to be related to your field of study or major, typically. So health administration and policy, social work practicums, nursing has their own clinical rotations built into their curriculum. It could be a business or arts and sciences internship, depending on what it is, but has to be pre-approved by a faculty member. Typically, the minimum number of hours worked for those are 150 hours in a semester, which is based off of a 15-week semester at 10 hours a week. Easy to get 150 hours in the summer, but you do have to pay for those credits in the summer, unfortunately. The fall and spring is part of your regular tuition. Normally we get more pre-health questions, so this is kind of fun for me.
So that could be like doing research in somebody's laboratory, potentially.
Yes, absolutely. So we didn't talk about our Creighton Center for Research and Scholarship, but CURIS is our undergraduate research center. We're one of the top 10 private Catholic schools in the country for research. So students have done research as early as freshman year, fall semester. That's more experiential learning, not necessarily classified as an internship, but some of them I think can get credit for it, depending on what it is. But that they can do as early as freshman, sophomore year for sure. Yeah.
So the internships for credit, are those on campus internships?
They can be on campus, but most of our students do those off campus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes.
What about volunteer at a hospital or something more on the pre-health?
There you go.
It's not a paid internship, but if they wanted to get some volunteer.
Yep, absolutely. And with our pre-health students, that's one of the things we start to recommend right away in their freshman year is to start to engage with some different pre-health volunteer work. And we have what's called the Schlegel Center for Service and Justice here at Creighton, which coordinates quite a number of different service opportunities for students. They do a big service fair right away in the fall so students can connect to different service sites locally. They also they have certain weekly service sites that they actually take students to on a weekly basis as well, where they provide transportation. But one of the best things our pre-health students can start to do is start to engage in healthcare related volunteer work at a hospital, at a nursing home, in a clinic. That's just a wonderful way to start to immerse yourself in the healthcare profession, kind of get a sense of how the professions work together, if it's the right fit for you. In addition, the professional health sciences programs very highly value volunteer work. So when a student goes to apply to medical school or dental school or PT or OT or pharmacy school, those programs want to see volunteer and service on the student's application as well. And that's a great way to start off is by volunteering.
All right, well, thank you guys for your time, and get ready for the next session. Feel free to stand up, to stretch out, and whatever you'd like to do to get to your next session. So thank you very much.